It's over here. Hello, hello. Well, hey there, GLD. Do you want to be a mod? Do you feel like it? Okay, we'll make you a moderator. If you feel like sticking around for a little bit, that's all right. It's hard to keep mods, because it takes so long. Okay, let me get hooked up here. I'm trying something a little different tonight. So let me get this warmed up a little bit. I have a slow laptop. I need to buy a new one. And I have one sitting beside because I hate not being able to see my YouTube people when they come in. This thing takes forever to load. Just give me a second. I'm setting up the second one so I can see chat. I had almost it's now at 2,000 views on my last sale on YouTube. I'm like, what? I didn't even know it because I can't see. And wait a second. Let me make sure this is muted. Hey, Bud Files. Hey, Dawn. Can you guys hear me okay? Through YouTube too? I'm doing a check. Let me see here. Just gonna make sure it's muted so I don't have any feedback. Welcome in, guys. I can't type on the thing, but I can see you now. So I could see people on YouTube and then over here. But like I said, a friend of mine that came in sent me a print screen and was like, he said, "You realize you had 1.9K views on YouTube?" I'm like, "What? I didn't do anything different." Thank you, Dawn. Thanks for the sound check. Okay. So the first book I have, and you're probably going to see some sci-fi, like I said, mixed with action and suspense, because I kind of like put everything in certain categories. So sorry for your sci-fi loving people, but that's where my sci-fi is. So this one's called Ringworld by Larry Niven. And of course, these are older. Yes, Dawn, they are old books. And it's great that I got a hold of some of these because a lot of the libraries, when they clean out their books, they get rid of them from certain years so people can't even find them. And some people are looking for the older sci-fi, and I think I do have some. But like I said, they're going to be under action and suspense because it's easier for me because they are kind of action and suspense, especially when they get into galactic battles. So for those new, this is just my little cheat sheet. This is copyrighted 1970. And this book is The Dimensions of Ringworld. I myself have dreamed up an intermediate step between Dyson spheres and planets. Build a ring 93 million miles in radius, one Earth orbit, which would make it 600 million miles long. If we have a massive Jupiter to work with and we can make it 1,000,000 miles wide, we get a thickness of about 1,000 meters. The ring world would thus be much sturdier than a Dyson sphere. There are other advantages. We can spin it for gravity. A rotation on its axis of 770 miles per second would give the ring world one gravity outward. Gosh, tongue twisters over here. We wouldn't even have to roof it over. Put walls 1,000 miles high at each rim, aimed at the sun, and very little of the air will leak over the edges. The thing is roomy enough, 3 million times the area of the earth. It will be some time before anyone complains of the crowding. Larry Niven. So I would take this as a sci-fi. And I'm a slow seller. Sorry. Thank you for sharing the stream. I'm not a fast, sudden death saver person. I sell my stuff slow, so bear with me. You either like the stream or you'll fall asleep. One or the other. Dawn. Hey, S. Bodine. And I did share out everywhere, too. I share out as much as the stream as possible. You know, who comes, who comes. Sometimes you have slow sales. Sometimes you have good ones. You just never know on here. One thing I can say about Whatnot, it's very unpredictable. Okay. So the next one, this is actually Sherlock Holmes, A Study in Scarlet and the Sign of Four by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And it has definitely been loved and read very much so. Like I said, these are mostly used books tonight. I don't think I have any new in this one. This is a little bit. And this is from 1983. And it says, Sherlock Holmes is studying Scarlet and the Sign of Four. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. These words from A Study in Scarlet are the first words ever spoken by Sherlock Holmes to Dr. Watson. This volume also contains the second of the Holmes story, The Sign of Four. If you are reading Holmes for the first time, you will soon be under the spell. If you are an old fan, you will welcome an opportunity to renew acquaintance with the great man, witty, internally fascinating, and unique. So there you go. A Sherlock Holmes story. And these are all used, like I said, they're going to have like darkness to them and some stuff. And hey, Team Rockets. So you just never know, you know, because these are used. So they're definitely not going to be in perfect condition. Me, myself, I don't care what the condition the book is as long as the story's there. But that's just me. Just my opinion on it all. Even some of my best collected books have aged pages. I have books going clear back to the 1800s, so you never know what they've been through. Okay. Except I'm not selling my 1800 books on here yet. Okay. So the next book I have under Action and Suspense, this is Sphinx by Robin Cook. And actually, there is a person, hold on, I got to tag her in here, that collects this particular author. So let's see if she's on. I try to keep a list beside me. If you are looking for a specific author, I will put your name down and tag you in here. And I don't go in any specific order. So if you are looking for a book in the action suspense, the action suspense, the auction part, let me know and I'll show you. I just go in an order until somebody gets here. Okay, so the next one we have is up for grabs. Sphinx, it has a little bit of rating right there. It says BM15 on it. Somebody wrote on it. It's from 1979. There's a little bit of smudging on the back. I'll try to pick out flaws as I see them. This one says, it was the magic and mystery of an empire long past that beautiful Erica Baron came to explore. Innocently, she cast her eyes in the forbidden places and discovered a clue to a treasure beyond imagination. It was then that terror overtook her as the most fearful curse of the ancient world and most savage menace of modern one threatened to destroy her. One dangerously attractive man offered Erica help. He offered her protection, he offered her love, and in this strange exotic land of seductive evils, no one could be trusted. Desire became for Erica the deadliest snare of all, and Sphinx. So there you go. That is what this one's about. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Deb. Hey, Bally Mal. Like I said, check out the auction. If there's anything you want to see, let me know. I'm just running down my list as we go. And who's on my YouTube? Tiffany! Yay! Hey, Tiff. I can finally see chat on YouTube. So I don't want to forget anybody. I just could not stand not being able to see my chat over here. And now I can, and I'm so happy, even though this computer I'm using is really slow. So the next one I have, this is called The Ringworld Engineers by Larry Niven. Larry Niven must have been, Dawn, you might know, this is 1980. There's a little stain right here at the bottom of this page that runs a little bit through the book at the bottom. It came to me that way, so I didn't put it there, I swear. I don't eat and drink over my books. But see, something got on there to about right there. But like I said, I'll show you the flaws. Lots of bendage, lots of reading. Looks like this little corner might be coming up a little bit. But I want you to see the flaws so that you know what you're getting. And it looks like there's a little tear right there. Return to the Ringworld. It's been 20 years since the quixotic and world's weary Louis Wu discovered the Ringworld. Now he and Speaker to Animals are going back, captives of the hiddenmost, a disposed puppeteer leader. With Louis's help, it intends to gain its status by bringing back an extraordinary treasures from the Ringworld that its fellows will have to be impressed. But when they arrive, Louis discovers that the Ringworld is no longer stable and will destroy itself within months. To survive, he must locate the control center of the legendary engineers who built the planet. His quest becomes a wild and gripping venture, blended with mysteries and spectacular technologies that only Niven can conjure. So there you go. There is the next one. Where's Holbrook? He was supposed to come in here and say hello tonight. I'm going to have to lecture him. Hey, Nettins. Hey, Mike. I got to pick on Holbrook. I'm telling him to get his butt in here. It's so good to see you all on YouTube too, because I miss you guys. Okay, so next, I think that ran, didn't it? I hope. We have The Black Mountains by Fred Saberhagen. You look at that monster on the front. This has got a little bit of stainage on it too. Some books just come like that. This is from 1971. I think they held up from that pretty good from that time period, other than the darkened pages and stuff with age. And this says, when Chubb's castle fell to the forces of the West, the ex-lord was reduced to beggary at its gates. Each day he faced the black mountains of the East, to which he had sworn fealty, and where he hoped his unclaimed bride still waited. Behind the West plotted to assault the Black Mountains with their new weapons from the forbidden lore of old technology. Ahead lay the three most powerful lords in all creation. One was good, one was evil, and one was immortal. Chop knew that East would not help him unless they could profit by it, nor could he refuse anything asked of him and still survive. If they reached him in any way, he might be both blessed and cursed. And then one howling, windy night came the deformed luminescence of a demon. Ew, creepy. Okay, so we will run this one. The monster ones. Creepy, creepy. But my anything that's action, suspense, like mystery, whodunits, any kind of battles, except my true military is separate from just told military. But they're all under action suspense. So anything that's on it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Okay, so the next book we have, this one is called, this is a thicker book. I do go through these to make sure your pages aren't ripped and stuff in case you guys didn't know this. To Sail Beyond the Sunset. And this is cool because this is like debossed. It's like lifted off the page. It's another Robert Heinlein book. It's got writing right there. The pages are darkened. This is from 1987. It's hard to believe we're vintage over here. To Sail Beyond the Sunset. Maureen Johnson, the somewhat irregular mother of Lazarus Long, wakes up in bed with a man and a cat. The cat is Pixel, well known to readers as the New York Times bestseller, The Cat Who Walks Her Walls. The man is a stranger to her, and besides that, he's dead. So begins Robert A. Heinlein's newest novel, To Sail Beyond the Sunset, filled with the master's most beloved characters. This compelling work broadens and enriches his epic visions of time and space. Life and Death, Love and Desire is also an autobiographical masterpiece and a wondrous return to the alternate universe verses that Heinlein's fans have come to know and love. Nice thick book. So there is this book. Like I said, Whatnot's very unpredictable. Hey, Dougie C. How are you? Welcome in. I have a neighbor that was wanting some sci-fi books, but I don't know if he joined Whatnot or not. I told him that's where I was selling. Okay. So the next one we have, this one is called The Dragon Bone Chair by Tad Williams, Book 1 of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. And some of these might be parts of series. I tried to put it in the descriptions if they are. This one's in pretty good condition from 1988. It says, a war fueled by the dark powers of sorcery is about to engulf the peaceful land of Austin R. for Preston John, the High King Slayer of the dead dragon. We'll just call it Shurakai, lies dying, and with his death, an ancient evil will at last be unleashed as the Storm King, undead ruler of the evilish like Sithai, seeks to regain his lost realm through a pact with one of human royal blood, then driven by spell-inspired jealousy and hate. Prince will fight Prince, while around them the very land begins to die. Only a small scattered group, the League of the Scroll, recognizes the danger, true danger, waiting Ostenard, and to Simon, a castle scullion, unknowingly apprenticed to a member of his league, will go the task of spearheading the quest for the solution to a riddle that offers the only hope of salvation, a riddle of long-lost swords of power, and a quest that will see him fleeing and facing enemies straight out of a legend's worst nightmares. So there you go. Looks like sci-fi to me. Okay, let's get this one started. Welcome in. Hey, Jess. Hey, John. Welcome, welcome. We must have had a rainstorm that I missed. Thank you for sharing links, Tip. I appreciate it. Hey, little bit. Let's see here. Next. Okay, here's another one. This is thick too. This is The Past Through Tomorrow by Robert A. Heinlein. Look how thick that book is. Nice read. It's got a little bit of smudgy dark stuff. This is 1967. This is when I was born. This is old. You'll see the specs. And then this is what it says. And people, you can come back and watch past shows too. If you hit past shows at the top, and you can see some of the past books I've shown until I don't know how many they actually store. But yeah, they're there. One of science fiction's greatest achievements, here is one monumental volume, are all 21 of the stories, novellas and novels making up Heinlein's famous future history, the rich, imaginative architecture of a man's destiny that many consider his greatest and most prophetic work. That's why it's so thick. It's got The Roads Must Roll, The Menace from Earth, We Also Walk Dogs, Methuselah's Children, The Man Who Sold the Moon, The Green Hills of Earth, and 15 other celebrated books. Classics. So that's why it's so huge. You get a lot of reading in this one. And they're all starting at $1. Can't beat that. So if you like to read a lot, there you go. I got cheap prices. I'm taking a drink of water, so give me a sec. So my voice don't get all froggy. Should have brought my koozie down here. I didn't think about it. And my hand's all wet. Okay, so we'll put this one aside. I hope you are doing good on YouTube too. I don't know about you guys. We've had weird heat waves going on and off. Let me get through these next two books, and I have a picture I got to show you guys. It's pretty interesting on both platforms. Okay, so this is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. This is what the book looks like. It's got a little bit of discoloration in the back. This is from 2001. It says, Shadow is a man with a past. but now he wants nothing more than to live a quiet life with his wife and stay out of trouble until he learns that she's been killed in a terrible accident. Flying home for a funeral as a violent storm rocks the plane, a strange man in the seat next to him introduces himself. The man calls himself Mr. Wednesday, and he knows more about Shadow than is possible. He warns Shadow that a far bigger storm is coming, and from that moment on, nothing will ever be the same. So that is that book. Let's start. Hey, Frankie Page. Welcome in. But yeah, my hubby was mowing grass. If you guys are still in chat, and he went around the tree and he came face to face with a nice surprise. I got pictures of it today. I'll have to show you. He was lucky. Okay, so the last book in the action and suspense part is called The Forest by Dawn Winslow. It's got a little crack right there. A lot of these books might have a little bit of yellowing, but that happens. This is from 2017. It's got the crack here. We can tell it's definitely been read. All Denny Malone wants is to be a good cop. He is the king of Manhattan North, a highly decorated NYPD detective sergeant, and the real leader of the force. Malone and his crew are the smartest, the toughest, and the baddest. What only a few know is that Danny Malone is dirty. He and his partners have stolen millions of dollars in drugs and cash. Now Malone is being squeezed by the feds, and he must walk a thin line between betraying his brothers and partners, the job, his family, and the woman he loves, and trying to survive while the city teeters on the brink of a racial conflagration that could destroy them all. The Forest is a story of greed and violence, retribution and redemption that reveals the tensions between the police and the citizens they serve. A portrait of courageous, heroic, and deeply flawed man. It is a masterpiece of urban realism and the great cop novel of our time that only Dawn Winslow could write. Wow. And this was written in 2017. Interesting. So there's this one. Hey, Frugal Shelly Girl. Hey, Pipeliner. I actually had a book called Pipeliner. Once this book is stopped running, I'm going to show you a dinosaur tooth. Well, how cool is that? Tiff, you're funny. Here is what I blew up today from my yard. You guys ready to see it? So anyways, like I said, he was out mowing the grass, and look what was hanging in our tree. He came face to face with this. I mean, it was right there. He is so lucky the hornets weren't out. But that is a really nice, well-made hornet's nest. There's that picture. And then here's another one. He had to go out and spray it, but it wasn't there in the fall. I mean, like they had to build it this summer. Because in the fall, my trees lose, their leaves. And it was bare, and the only thing was in it was a bird's nest. So I took and went out today and got pictures of it. It's amazing. Even though, hornets are dangerous, it's amazing watching nests being built. Like, it's wild. Even watching birds, they were stealing straw out of my dog's box and building the nests. But I was like, holy crap. I told him, I said, you're lucky that you got away from it. They didn't sting your face. That would have been horrible. So we are moving on to the mushy category. I know you guys just love romance. So let me put these over here, out of the way. Gotta move my action and suspense book, so give me a second. Okay, so we are starting with Married to a Stranger by Louise Allen. This is a Harlequin Historical Regency. It's in good condition. From 2011. It's got a stamp there. A shock proposal. Sophia Langley's life is in turmoil when she learns of her estranged fiance's death in a shipwreck. The last thing she expects is for his twin brother, Callum Chatterton, to make a shock proposal. Her inner romantic objects to a marriage of convenience, and brooding Cal makes it very clear that's all it can be. Yet to save her family, Sophia accepts with trepidation and a highly inconvenient trembling desire for her reluctant husband. Twins. Twin trouble. So there you go. Hey, big man. Hey, Joel. Welcome in. Big man, where you been hiding? I haven't seen you lately. So we're into the fun stuff. Okay, next we have Love Inspired. Like I said, there's certain people like reading certain specific types of romance books, which is pretty interesting. This is the Love Inspired, heartwarming, inspirational romance. Reunited with a Bull Rider by Jill Caramer. It's got people's initials from reading it, of course. There's a stamp on one side. This is a 2018. Goodbye Rodeo, hello hometown. But this is Wyoming cowboy ready to face his past. Amy Durston wanted to mentor a child. Her plan did not include former bull rider Nash Bolton, the little girl's brother and guardian. It's been a decade since Nash left town without a word, breaking Amy's young heart. Now they must put their painful past aside to help fragile, traumatized Ruby. If only getting over their first love were that simple. Got a horsey on the cover. It's got a horsey. Who doesn't love horsies? Big if you're in here. Hey, Noah. Welcome, welcome. Holbrook stood me up. He said he was going to come in here and visit, and he never did. He's getting a spanking. I'm going to get my granny paddle after him. I know, I invited him in too. I told him he better come in and say hello, but he didn't. I'm making you a moderator if you don't mind. For as long as you're in here. There's no obligation for people to stay. It's hard keeping moderators over here. I'm the same way, though. I like skipping into different sales. Okay. The next one we have is another Love Inspired. And this one's called Child Wanted by Renee Andrews. And it's another heartwarming, inspirational romance. This was in good shape from 2017. A mother's second chance. Lindy Burnett can hardly believe it. She's found her son. In the 3 years they've been separated, Lindy has thought of nothing else but her little boy. But Jerry doesn't remember her, and he's about to be adopted. His would-be father, school teacher Ethan Green, would do anything for the child except give him up. Ethan has no idea of Lindy's connection to the boy, but there is no denying the connection Ethan feels to her. His painful past makes him hesitant to trust her, but their mutual love for Jerry might be strong enough to help them find their way home to each other. So there is that one. That's okay. You're good. Hey, Style. Style Every Story. That's a cute name. I like that name. Mine used to be Get Lost in Stories to take me to another world. As a kid, that was my escape into other places that I never got to travel to. So the next one is a Harlequin super romance called A Mom for Matthew by Roz Denny Fox. Roz Denny is a pretty good writer. I've read some of her books. There's some initials. This is a little bit of a bigger font compared to when they started. They used to have tiny font. 2005. It's got a little bit of wear. A way for him, a mother for his son. Zeke Rossetti likes things to run smoothly. He's a single father of a deaf child, and his job managing offshore oil sites in the Texas Gulf doesn't allow for distractions. Grace Stafford is definitely a distraction. She's searching for a down plane, hoping to clear her grandfather's World War II record. Unfortunately, Grace's mission interferes with Zeke's work, and he realizes the quickest way to get rid of her is to help her. Zeke's been burned before. His ex-wife left him, and Matthew. As he grows closer to Grace, Zeke begins to suspect that she's the woman for him, but can she be a mom for Matthew? He's cute. Cute little kid in a hard hat. See, I'm going to invite him again. And then I'll get, I'm sorry I didn't make it. Excuses. Excuses. Tisk tisk. Never comes and says hello. Okay. Next, we have one of the skinny kind of romances. We get the little skinny Harlequins. This is a Harlequin Presents The Scorpio Man by Claudia Jameson. Some of these books are so expensive now. Somebody wrote their name and dated it, and it's 1984. Was it wrong to want to make love again? 4 years had passed since the death of Sherry's husband, and she remained faithful to his memory. No other man had interested her until she moved to London and became a secretary to the dynamic Leon Silver. She was deeply attracted to him, and he knew it, and confusion and guilt overwhelmed her. How long could she resist his repeated attempts to seduce her, and moreover, did she want to resist? What was happening to her self-control? What was happening to her self-respect? So there you go. Cute little romance. My Instagram's getting bombed right now by a bunch of likes because I was liking people's stuff earlier. I like Instagram. I actually started on Instagram before YouTube. The next author is somebody who's a very much a favorite around these parts. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Kathy. Oh my goodness. That's terrible, Kathy. If you guys are still in here, I'm selling on Whatnot, so I'm kind of in between both platforms. So if I miss your comment, I will get to it. Nora Roberts is really popular here. This is actually part of a series. I don't know how many books are in this series, but I know it's not just a trilogy. I know that there's more than one story, but I only have this one so far. It's got a little bit of tear. Definitely has been a loved book and a lot of discoloration from time. 1998. And see, this is bent right here. Show you the flaws. Meet Catherine and Amanda Calhoun. There's 2 stories in this book. Mechanic Catherine Calhoun and hotel magnate Trenton St. James mix the axle grease and mineral water until they kiss. That's cute. Efficient Amanda Calhoun finds easygoing Sloane O'Reilly insufferable and irresistible. And they both must race to solve the generations old mystery sounding a priceless hidden emerald necklace. Look for the next installment of the Calhoun Women with Lila and Suzanne's story coming in March. Well, this has been a while ago. So, but there is more. As soon as I get more of series together, if I come across them, I will bundle. But for right now, I'm selling them like they are. Sometimes I've read books and I go to look for the next one. I can't find them. So I might find like another one somewhere else when I'm out thrifting or just in a regular store buying new. And then I end up trying to find them and then I put them together and then read them. Or I might read part of a series and I can't find one of the books. So it's kind of nice that they're separated, but it's also nice when they're put together. It just depends. But I'm going to try to put them together as I find them. So the next one we have. Oh, she's crazy. I actually love these books. My youngest daughter, got me hooked into reading Janet Ivanovich. She's somebody you either like or you don't like to read, but I think she's funny. And this is Plum Lucky. It's a 2009. I think one of them has been made into a show. Stephanie Plume has a way of attracting danger. Lunatics, oddballs, bad luck, and mystery men. That's about the truth of it, too. And no one is more mysterious than the unmentionable Diesel. He's back and hot on the trail of a little man in green pants who's lost a giant bag of money. Problem is, the money isn't exactly lost. Stephanie's grandma, Missouri, has found it. And like any good Jersey senior citizen, she's hightailed it to Winnebago to Atlantic City and hit the slots. With Lula and Connie in tow. I mean, it's like all her books are like a disaster waiting to happen. Stephanie attempts to bring Grandma home, but with the luck of the Irish is rubbing off on everyone. Lula is funny. Her character is hysterical. Found a job modeling a plus-size lingerie. Connie found a guy. Diesel's found Stephanie, and Stephanie found herself in it over her head with a caper involving thrice stolen money, a racehorse, a car chase, and a bad case of hives. That's what you get in these type of books, and they are funny. Well, hello, time is my blessing. That's a cute name. And hey, David, welcome, welcome. It's like a revolving door over here on Whatnot. You get people coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Love you too, Jemmy. I miss my YouTube people. I'll get back eventually. Right now, I'm trying to downsize my books and I'm organizing them as I'm doing the sales. And then I have primer ready and I need to paint my craft room and get it ready because I got to unpack all my Sunny Fun Time mails. Okay, this is actually part of a trilogy. and I don't have all of them. I think this is book 2. Kentucky Heat by Fern Michaels. It's got some rating in it. This is from 2002. Like I said, I make sure you get all your pages. Would Neely, Coleman, Diamond horses come first? So when her two grown children's irresponsible acts nearly cost her shoe fly the coal that carries all her hopes for the Triple Crown, she throws them both off Blue Diamond Farm, a decision that changes their future and her own. To the world, Neely looks unbreakable. Inside, her heart has shattered. Estranged from her daughter Emmy and her son Nick, she struggles alone to build her racing stables into the best Kentucky and shoe fly into the horse of the century. When Hatch Littletree, her ex-husband's law partner, pays an unexpected visit, he brings Neely a much-needed comfort, but he also brings turmoil. A tough Native American and a brilliant attorney, Hatch is determined to see Neely heal the painful rift with her children. He's also a man Neely cannot resist. Raw with emotion, yet filled with unstoppable energy, Neely will face bitter disappointments, exhilarating triumphs, and a night of blood-curdling terror, one that could mean the end of her dreams and maybe her life. So that is Kentucky Heat. And I think the other ones are, what is it? Kentucky Rich is one. It's Kentucky Rich, Kentucky Heat, and then there's another one that goes in that series, but I forget the name of the last one. The next book we have, this is another of the littler romances. This one is called Lazarus Rising. Here Comes the Grooms by Anne Stewart. And there's actually a list. This is what the book looks like first. 1991. There's a list inside. Reluctant Grooms, there's 6. And then it goes on to show different sets. There's there's 6 in this one. It says everything was set. This is the first one. Good girl Catherine Lafferty was ready to marry Mr. Safe, not Danny McCandless. The quintessential bad boy she'd been engaged to 10 years ago, the one who, when he died, had taken a piece of her heart with him. Now on her way to order wedding announcements for her and her said banker fiance's upcoming nuptials, Catherine came face to face with her past in the form of a long, lean physique. Devilish good looks and deep blue eyes. There's no mistaking it. He was her Danny. So that is that one. Hey, Smooth Cheese. Oh my gosh, even the food names are cute on here. We had waffles one night, especially when you're hungry. People make up the cutest ideas. And the last romance for now, this one kind of looks interesting to me anyways. And no, I didn't get to read it. I wish I did. This is the commanding bestseller, The Story of a Love That Ended an Empire, Nicholas and Alexandra by Robert K. Massey. It's a condition of the book. Nice, huge read. Some pictures in here. This here's cut off. It's from 1967. The story of the Tsar, his empress, and the realm they lost. The story of a man, a woman, the love they shared, and of the obscene mock Rasputin who corrupted and destroyed them. And that's what it says. A larger-than-life drama so bizarre, so heart-rending, and above all, so apocalyptic that no novelist could have dared invent it. So, I don't know. Could be based on a true story. Hey, Caroline near Napa. Welcome, welcome. There are some pictures in here. I'm curious. What do they see? Let's get pictures of people in here. So maybe it was based on a true story. Sometimes Raiders incorporate both. But how interesting is that? Interesting. Hey, Eric Ost. So that is the romance section. Now we were going into the children's books. Put this down here. Some of the books I have today are some chapter books. And then there's just a couple for the younger kids, if anybody's interested. This one's called Trouble River by Betsy Byers. Got a little mark right there. A couple little tears right there on the spine. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape. From 1969. It says, Dewey and Grandma are alone in the cabin on Trouble River. Before he left, Dewey's dad told him they would be safe, but Grandma feels in her bones that they are not. And when Dewey sees an Indian sneaking behind the cabin, Grandma says there's never just one Indian. Then Dewey knew they have to leave fast. Dewey and Grandma made a quick escape on Dewey's handmade raft. Trouble River's name is no joke, and they are threatened by rocks and currents and wolves that attack in the night. Still they go on, past the burned-out ruins of their neighbor's homestead until they reach the whirling rapids. Now Dewey and Grandma must face real danger, and they have to fight for their lives. So an adventure chapter book. And like I said, I never give in any specific order. I just, you come in, you see something, ask me, and I'll show it. And Tiff, you're awesome. She's the best mod over here on YouTube. She's always sharing out everybody's channels so everybody can find each other, which is really cool. And a great promoter. The next book we have is called Kidnap Kids by Todd Strasser. This is a 1998. Excuse me. Undo the handcuffs now, boys, Mom said in a calm, controlled voice. You did it, I said to my little brother. He nodded. Great, let's go. Wait, Mom called. Benji stopped. I grabbed his hand and pulled. Stephen Benjamin, where are you going, Mom demanded. You can't leave me like this. I shoved Benji through the door and turned back to her. We'll be back, Mom. We just want to get used to it. Used to what, Mom asked, being our prisoner. What they do? Kidnap their mother? Too cute. Gotta stop and take drinks of my water. Okay. Well, hey there, Villa. Next we have, these also go into my buy it now after tonight. So even if you don't have money or if you want to do some Christmas shopping, they will be there. This one's called The Pet of Frankenstein. Cute pet. This is a 1988. There's a little spot right there. It goes through the book. A microchip off the old block. All his fifth grade friends at PS 13 think Frankenstein has inherited the electronic genius of his namesake. Barking Frankenstein, but Frankie isn't so sure. When he hears his father complain about the younger generation, he knows he is being put to the test. Can Frankie prove he is as good as an inventor as his ancestor, or will his disillusioned parents turn him back into spare parts? CD Bites Guy, Howie Wolfner, Elisa Stein, and Danny and Barbara Keegan are willing to do anything to keep their friend. But when Frankie finds the disassembled pieces of a mechanical dog, only he can put them together and finally bring the pet of Baron Frankenstein to life. That's cute. That'd be cute for Halloween. Hey, the Beard Man. Welcome, welcome. That's my YouTube people hanging in. I hope everybody's having a good day. It hasn't been too bad here. I think we had a heavy quick rainstorm here earlier that I missed because my bathroom floor was soaked. I thought my husband took a shower before he went to work, but he's like, no. So it must have been rain that I missed when I was cutting my poochie. I can't hear anything with the air conditioning on. So the next book is called The Matchlock Gun, winner of the John Newbery Medal by Walter D. Edmonds. It's got some marks there. And this is a 1969. It says, even father had never used a matchlock gun. In 1756, New York State was still a British colony, and the French and the Indians were constant threats to Edward and his family. When his father was called away to watch for a raid from the north, only Edward was left to protect Mama and little Trudy. His father had shown him how to use the huge matchlock gun, an old Spanish gun that was twice as long as he was. But would Edward be able to handle it if the trouble actually came? So there's a pew pew story. What they call him over here. Hey, Care Bear. I have a friend that has a daughter she calls Care Bear. It's a cute name. I like Care Bears. And the next children's book we have is called Shadows on the Wall by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. And this is what the book looks like. It is from 1980. It's got a little yellowing to it. Something is happening to Dan Roberts, something he can't quite control. 15-year-old Dana was confused about a lot of things. Why did his parents decide they must take a journey to York, England, and why they have been acting so strangely since they arrived? Beyond that, what is the sense of doom and dread that Dan himself feels as he approaches certain ancient ruins in the city? Are the moving shadows he sees on the wall real, or is he beginning to lose his mind? And what of his new friend cab driver Joe Stanton and their encounters with the gypsies? When they're together, a strange sensation takes hold of Daniel as the distant past melds with the present and dreams become reality. The York trilogy. So that is part of a trilogy. Nice, nice chapter books. And if you know that anybody that loves to read, send them my way. I will set them up with some good books. I have a nice variety. The next book we have, I've seen this a few times. This one's called The Thief. It was a 1997 Newbery Honors book. There's a few in here that's won awards. Got a little bit of discoloration. This is a 1996. Thief by Macon Willen Turner. Because of his bragging and his great skill, Jenlin's in the king's prison, shackled to the wall of his cell after months of isolation. He's released by none other than the king's scholar, the magus who believes he knows the site of an ancient treasure. The thief he needs for a long, dangerous journey is Jen. To the magus, Jen is just a tool, but Jen has some of his own ideas. So that is The Thief. Hey, Fleming Spines. Welcome, welcome in. If anybody wants to see anything in the auction, please feel free to let me know and I'll show you the book. I don't go in any specific order. I'm random. And hey, my YouTube people. It's weird how my phone won't show me who's in my stream when I do a playback, but I can watch it on a computer. I don't know what's going on with YouTube that way. Hey, crazy cat lady, how are you? Thanks for stopping. The next book we have is another children's book. This one is called Dragon Slayers Academy. This is book 6. Sir Lancelot, Where Are You? By Kate McMullen. This is the shape it's in, which is pretty good, 2003. The evil witch Morgana Le Fay has put a terrible curse on Sir Lancelot, and it's up to Wiglaf and his DSA buddies to find and save him. But they're just dragon slayers in training. Can they really outsmart the trolls, witches, and other villains that stand in their way? So there's a cute chapter book. I can't wait to see how much, thank you for sharing. I can't wait to see how much Posh collected for the kitty cats. I'm so excited. I actually had 2 cats, Hope and Heather, that were sisters from the same litter. And we were so blessed to have them for 21 and 22 years. That is one long life for some cats, let me tell you. That's the longest animals I've ever had in my entire life that lived that long. But they were wonderful sisters. They were beautiful cats, too, and I still miss them. Oh, my goodness. You're a busy cat mom. But yes, I love animals. They are so awesome. They're like the best mental health creatures on this earth. That's all I have to say. But yeah, Posh was running a special where she was putting stuff for $1. She was sneaking them in. It was hard out of 370 some items to find them. And she was like, all I ask is, did you tip? And I can't because they don't allow PayPal to gift or tip, which is awful. Because I hate it when I love seeing the little flying dollars when people tip on whatnot, but I've never been able to do it because of PayPal stopping me. I tried a few times, and I don't want to change my method because of the payment method. Who rated me? Next Doctor, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, welcome. Let me get you in here. I got you on follow. Thank you, thank you. So what I'm going to do is, for the raid as a thank you, let me look here real quick. I'm going to take this book. Let me switch it over. If anybody's interested, that is. This is kind of a religious book, but it looks like a good one. I don't know if it'll let me move it. Maybe it won't. Come on. Let me move it. Be nice. Here we go. We'll put this into auction. And then I'm going to take and edit this. It is a $4 book that I'm going to drop to $1. And I'm going to run it. I don't have the book in here. It's in the other room. But I'm going to run it for you guys. If anybody's interested, Challenge and Conformity. It looks like a good read. So I'll run it for $1 instead of $4. So you get a deal. It's a nice hardback. Yes, Crazy, I can see you. Hurry back. Thank you, thank you, thank you for wishing me an awesome show. And for people not... Let me get you in here. Next shop thrift. Anybody that comes back. Next stop thrift. Please follow. And thanks for the raid. It's really hard when you're in the book section because you can't just do any giveaway because of media mail. So I try to drop a price on a book as a thank you for anybody that's interested. Hey, Dino Hobbies, welcome in. Okay, so the next book I'm going to run is in the children's section. This is The Rock and Royals, Listen to Your Heart with Barbie. And it does have the stickers in it. All the stickers should be in the book. It came with the book. And this is a 2015. It's a cute kids book with a story and some stickers. So I'm going to run this. Hey, Heather. Welcome, welcome. If you see anything in the auction, please feel free to let me know, and I will show you the books. I don't go in any specific order. I just go down the list unless somebody requests. Right now, we are on the children's section. And if you're a sci-fi buff, I do have sci-fi books mixed in with my action and suspense books. So next we have, if you like Barbie, we have the Step Into Reading, Barbie, I Can Be a Gymnast. And this is from 2016. It's like a beginner reader type book. Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. Much love, Tiff. And how's Mark doing? I haven't been to visit one of his streams in a while either on YouTube, but I'll come over and visit when I get a chance. I'm streaming in both places, so I'm talking back and forth. I have my YouTubers too. Okay. And then next we have, this book is so cute. I love this book. Bedtime in the Southwest. If only you had that many animals around you, right? This is in really good condition. It's like new. It's from 2015. Lot of beautiful pictures in this one of cute animals and such. And I will start this one that was started for. Thank you so much, Crazy. So anyways, I won something in Posh's stream for $1 and then I couldn't tip. That was the condition. And I asked her if you had like a Cash App or, you know, another way I could tip you on the side. And she says, well, I tried to do everything through Whatnot. I said, well, us Whatnot. I mean, us PayPal people can't. So she told me that you were setting up something. So I'm glad. I'm glad that you have a side PayPal that you can, you know, take tips for. That is so cool. So the next set of books are another favorite of some people. I have Westerns again. I did come across some old Westerns. I had an uncle who used to love to read Westerns. But everybody has their own genre and their own author sometimes that they pick. So this here is called The Trial at Apache Function by Louis B. Patton. And just a warning, these are all older Westerns. This is from 1977, so you're going to see some discoloration. This one says, Sheriff Owen Buck has Johnny McGarth in jail waiting to hang for killing a man hired to evict him from his homestead. And to make matters worse for McGrath, he's accused of raping the judge's wife. Sheriff Buck is caught between the demands of the cattlemen who long to see McGrath hanged and the settlers who want him to go free. As Buck tries to keep the peace, Apache Junction seized with violence simmering beneath the surface, waiting for it to erupt. So it's an action-packed Western. Old Westerns, real old Westerns. And it's running. Well, I'm glad you do. Hey, Aurora Shaw. So if anybody wants to donate to a lady who takes care of 35 cats and help her out with the vet and the food and the toys and whatever she needs, just message Crazy Cat Lady Ryan with a K for crazy. And Ryan's RYAN at the end. and then ask her for her PayPal, and you could donate to help her. It makes it nice when you have people who are able to share out, where you can share out your PayPal and stuff. It makes it nice. There's a few people I follow on here that does fundraising. One is Requiem Roses. She does dog kennels. She runs a dog place, and her proceeds go to it. Foster Friends Thrift is on here, and she takes care of foster children. And then Disabled Artist is on here, and that's care. They do fundraisers for people who have disabilities, and they send them free craft supplies. It makes it so nice. The next book we have, this is part of a series called Spur. This is actually book 11. This is Spur Montana Mix by Dirk Fletcher. This is from 1984. It's a spine. It's called Stagecoach Slaughter. Spur McCoy has been sent to Montana to investigate the massacre of a stagecoach full of passengers and bring the murders to justice. It was a tough assignment. It got even tougher when he landed smack in the middle of an all-out range war. Henry Haworth, owner of a huge Box H ranch, was trying to tie up the water supply for the entire area, and the Ephraim Longley of the Lazy L was fighting mad. Spur soon found himself stalking a psychotic killer and pursued by a passel of hired guns. He hardly had time to renew his old acquaintance with the buxom madam of the local hoe house before he was dodging a haul of hot lead. But Spur always gave as good as he got, and he'd go down for shooting. Sorry, guys, I don't read the back of these books. And sometimes words pop up, and I try to smooth them over because I don't always like reading what they say. Yeah, I do have a lot of Louis L'Amour books. Um, but I'm trying to get some of those in order. I think I might have sets, but I'm not sure. They're not totally, but I put them aside for now. Because as I find sets, I'm going to try to bundle, but for now I can't because I don't have any with any kind of order. But yeah, my uncle loved Louis L'Amour too. He was probably the first Western person I had ever heard of. Give me a second. I'm going to lay this out, but I'm going to put this over top of it because I've been drinking so much water. Hold on a second. I'm going to do it. Be right back. There's my little potty house. I love this. I got this off of somebody. So give me a second. My little outhouse with my horse and my pooch. I'll be right back. I'm going to take my dog out to go to the bathroom real quick. And then I got a potty and I'll be right back. I got to check on my pooch. Take a break. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll be right there. Had to spray a huge spider. All right. My dog will tap, tap, tap upstairs across the floor, and I know she's got to go. So, fur babies come first. All righty. Drink of water. Thank you, Tiff. Somebody sent me that picture. Whew, I think I bought it off of another whatnotter. Okay. Hey, tell I'm out of shape. I had to run up the steps. Okay, so this is Bolt by Court Martin, Showdown at Black Mesa. I like the cover, how they did the cards. This is a 1981. Bolt was a wanted man, wanted by his family, the law, and a whole lot of beautiful women. Jared Bolt takes the risk of returning to Black Mesa when he hears that beautiful Belle Wilkins is in trouble. He is still wanted, dead or alive, for bank robbery and murder. And there are plenty of men hungry for the reward on his head. When Jared arrives in town and finds out that Horner, the cutthroat cattle baron, is trying to take over Belle's ranch, he decides to fight fire with fire. And after receiving a warm welcome from Belle, he's ready for action. Cool and confident, he formulates a deadly plan. After all, there aren't many who can stand up to his fast draw or his hot gun. So, there is Bolt. And it says number 3, so this must be another series. Oh my goodness. Halbrecht, you finally made it! Thanks to whoever purchased. I'm running around too, don't feel bad. I had to go let my dog out. Yard sale. You know, that's funny because I have a friend, Michelle, in Ohio that loves to go to the yard sale that's stretched out from state to state. You told me you were going to be here. Chop, chop, you're supposed to be here. No excuses. Noah was in here earlier and I told her we're going to have to get the granny paddle after him. This is my online paddle I use on people. See, this is what you get when you get lippy with me. When I was in Yahoo chat, I don't know if you remember the emojis. I had one that would pull your name in and you would get smacked in the head with a newspaper. I used to torment booters with that all the time. So wonder I used to get booted all the time. So anyways, this is what I got pictures of today. I showed it earlier. Check this out. This is literally hanging in my tree outside. And it wasn't there in the fall. I had this tree excavated from my old property to my new. And my husband was out weed whacking and mowing the grass. He says, I came face to face with him. I said, you are lucky they didn't chase you. And then here's the other picture. And they had to just build it this summer. Nice little hornet's nest out there. But anyways, cat lady, if you're still in here, I'll show you a picture of my puppy. I found her on Facebook, and the guy told me she was part German Shepherd and part Gator Pit Bull. Please. As soon as I saw her face, the reason why I was attracted to her in the first place is because I could see lab. And he says, well, she doesn't have lab. This guy he insisted this dog did not have lab. And I said, dude, I raised labs mixed with husky. I know what labs look like. And he's like, well, it must be their genetic combination. So you know what I did? I swabbed her cheek, sent it into Wisdom. And whoever, he had the mother, and she was full-blooded Gator Pit Bull. I said, whoever you got this dog from lied to you, because you don't own a Gator Pit Bull. You own a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. She came out part lab, part staffy. Here's my baby. Tell me you don't see lab in her. She's definitely lab. So I was glad when the wisdom test came back, because I told him she don't even have German Shepherd in her. Isn't she pretty? That's my puppy. She thinks she's a puppy. She's 60 pounds and she makes your legs go numb. Look at that face. She's my cuddle bug. But she looks like Staffy right here. This is the face where the Staffy comes out. When her ears are forward. I can see the Staffy in her. She's hogging pillows. She hogs my blankets. That's my baby. I have to show off my puppy. And she's like romp diddy romp in the winter. She loves bouncing through the snow like Tigger. She gets all hyper. She's so cute. See, this is where she's hogging my bed. She's like, this is my bed. You can't have it. Oh, she's so funny. But we've been really blessed with her because she doesn't tear up nothing. One time we left when she was a little puppy, and she got a hold of some paper towels. But we've been blessed because she's never torn up like shoes or anything like that. So anyways, what I wanted to show you while you're in here is the reason why we crafters like ephemera. Not ephemera, ephemera. I still think that's funny. Is because we like building books with it. And I will show you examples of some of the things that we do with paper. I'm a paper junkie. I admit it. I even have a sign. My friend Michelle Scott, she's a YouTuber, and her mother made me paper junkie sign. It's actually burned into wood. It sits in front of my computer. This is a fabric journal that I made. I'll show you a fabric one first. This is a Holly Hobby. This is what I do as a crafter. That's actually a hanky sticking out of a pocket. We buy laces. We buy paper. You can do junk journaling. This was a Paris journal that I made. All of my stuff is sold, or I would show it to you. So I kept pictures of some of the items. I'm more of a, I wouldn't call myself a junk journaler. I'm more of a mix because I use old ephemera, mix it with crafty papers. I call my journals crafty journals because they're a mix. They're not what some people consider junk. A lot of people consider junk journals as, you know, throwing away stuff that you're going to throw away. This is a Reader's Digest. I've showed these. I'm sorry, YouTube, if you get sick of seeing my journals. This is one. This is actually the cover. That's why I always say look under the jackets of a Reader's Digest. And I turned this into just a ripped out journal type of deal, because I love to craft. Oh, do I miss doing this because I haven't done it for a little while because I've been busy with books. But if I have a book that comes into my store, like this one here was falling apart and it was ripped away, oh, I turned this. This is probably my biggest creation. I turned this into a journal. I ran this through my art program and I put secrets inside. And then I created this. This was a picture that actually came off of Pinterest. Then I ran it through my art program and added the sides and the font, and then just had fun creating. I made signatures and rebuilt this book up. This is actually a playing card. This is why under my Buy It Now store, if you type in CL, you'll come in craft supplies lot. You type in BL under my lots in my bin, you'll find my books. I have them labeled that way. It's because it's easy to navigate. And on your store, if you don't clone, they won't come over. But I separate everything. I have 690 posts of books under different genres, and then here's my auction. Now, a lot of people don't clone, but it goes to their like front page on their profiles, and you'll see this stuff there. But I clone it over to carry it with me every sale so I don't have to keep reposting. And that's how I build up my store. And I'll help people because, you know, I had a good person that helped me. These were doors that I printed, and then I took an X-Acto knife and cut them and turned them into doors in the journal. But this is the kind of stuff that I like to do. I enjoy this, but I love doing this journal. This journal was one of my favorites. It's a huge one, but it was a lot of fun to create. So that's what I do. And I had an Etsy store. I haven't been in there for a while because I've been over here selling. But I miss creating. But I love doing customs. People will give me a custom order and they tell me what they want, and then I go and get what I need to do and create. So anyway, I run this bolt book to get back into this. And I do glue books. I even have one for postcards. And Cat Lady, if you are still in here, this is the book I made of my cats. This is my memory of my Heather and Hope. I had them for 21 and 22 years. I was very blessed. You can make all kinds of journals, even if you don't write. They could be glue books. They could turn them into anything you want. And this is my memory of my cats. I love these two. They were sisters from the same litter. And of course, I did kind of Halloween into fall. This is my memory of my babies. I miss my Hopi. She was an awesome cat. I have this one picture in here I'm going to show you. She's got a bandana on. Hold on. Right there. Tell me that that cat did not pose. She was something else. And there's another of her poses. She used to get up on my staircase in my old house, and we flipped a house. She would literally roll on her back, and you would see her eyeballs glowing at you when she was in her ornery moods. This was a fun journal to create. And I'm working on one that I actually bought off of another journal maker that I'm going to do for my dog. It must have fell off. Envelope. That's Heather. The difference between her and Hope was that Hope had a white spot on her chest. We used to call her Preacher. And then this goes into fall. Look at her on that pillow pet. Hope, she was something else. But anyway, this isn't done. I have more pictures to add. But you can do anything with books. You can make any kind of journal that you want to. Here's one I made. I bought, this came from Australia. My friend JD made this. And I bought this off of her on YouTube through her Etsy. And I turned this into a stamp postcard collecting book that I've had postcards my whole life. Instead of sitting in a drawer somewhere, I put them in a journal. Of course, my love of horses. And then here's stamps and things I've collected through the years. Even even when my dentist just sent out postcards, I kept it because it had Snoopy. But this is my other journal. You wouldn't be surprised at how many people are so creative on here and the things they make. And I have a glue book. I have all kinds of journals over here. You wouldn't believe it. Okay, so next, we're going to continue on the Western journey. This one here is from a series called the White Indian series. This is book, it's Roman numerals 5, 6. This is book 8 by Donald Clayton Porter. It's got a little stainage on it. There's a little crack up there. It is from 1983. Like I said, I'm a slow seller. I don't sell fast. The battle for glory, noble of spirit but recklessly proud. Gon Kaba, grandson of Reno, the great Iroquois sachem, faces the final test of his bravery, raging with a thirst for vengeance against the Englishman who stole the beautiful white woman he loves. Yet sworn to honor the Seneca alliance with the British, the defiant young warrior finds the fate of a continent rest on his mighty shoulders. For as the crack of the rifle signals the start of war with the hatred French, only Gon Kaba, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but that's what it looks like, and his fierce fighting brand can turn the bloody carnage of certain defeat into victory for freedom. The making of a legend, the daring rescue of a dusky, passionate Indian maid, and a thrilling act of heroism in battle. Mark, we'll just call him Mark, as the true inheritor of a special destiny born with Reno, the white Indian, from powerful Mantos protectors of the Seneca, now comes a stunning personal message. A mysterious circling hawk destined to lead the Iroquois nation, their greatest triumph ever in the new and glorious land. So there you go. An Indian story. Yep, you can. CK, the ones that are in auction, I don't go in any specific order. So if you want to see something and you want to know what it's about, feel free to let me know. I only go in order when nobody asks. And Tiffany, thank you so much for modding over here on my YouTube channel for me. You're doing a great job. I'm live on both platforms, so I'm in between. Is there any specific book you're looking at? 66, 68, 234. Okay, let me see here. The 166 and 68, if you're looking in the buy it now, I don't have those books in here. I only have what's listed in the auction in here. Those are stored in another room because they were past live sale books. So I don't have those within reach. You're the first person that's ever asked me that. So the next book I have is Long Arm. And this one is by Tabor Evans. It's number 8, Long Arm and the Nesters. Like I said, aged. They are very aged. From 1981. This is book 8 in the Long Arm series. In 1880, the Old West was changing. The farmers were settling in. The fences were going up. The cowmen saw their wild, open world shrinking, and they blamed it on the foreign nesters. Suddenly, at Jayhawk Junction, Kansas, the smoldering quarrel burst into flames. Long Arm was called in to see justice done. Once there, he saw a lot more, too. Intrigue, greed, murder, and a beautiful Caesarist spy with a dangerous interest in him and his mission of peace. So there is this book. Yeah, I actually am organizing through here. I don't have a bookstore set up anymore. I have a licensed bookstore offline, but as I show books on here, they're in totes. So the only way I'd be able to pull them is if I pulled them out for like the next show or something and brought them forward. But for the show that I'm in, only the auction items are beside me. And I do them out of order. You know, like anybody could come in and request what's in the auction itself. The next one I have is another Lone Star. And this is book 108. So this is one big series. In the Choctaw Nation, you see it's discolored, 1991. And this is by Wesley Ellis. I think this might have been a library one. It's got tape on it. There's a little stain on the bottom. And this one says, the Choctaw are grumbling about the white miners leasing their land. The workers are threatening to strike. Jessie wants to settle things fairly, but she's prepared to fight if she has to. The Kai digs up some dirty dealings, and the Lone Star duel find themselves up against the two-faced troublemaker with a heart as black as coal. They call them the Lone Star Legend. Jessica Starbuck, a magnificent woman of the West, fighting for justice on America's frontier. Kai, the martial arts master, sworn to protect her and the code she lived by. Together they conquered the West as no other man and woman ever had. So that's that book. But I can write them down for you if you want to, nurse, and bring them. I can bring them out in the next show. So you wanted number 166, 168, 234. And I will put your name down. And then I can tag you if you want me to. I do keep authors' names written down too. 765. Let me see here. 765. Yes, that's under action and suspense. Let me get it. That's the monster one. This one. So you can see the shape it's in. It's a 1971. If you want me to read the synopsis, I can. It's up to you. It is running. Thank you, Holbrook. Hey, Stormy. Hey, Master Knight. Okay, so this one says, when Chubb's castle fell to the forces of the West, the ex-lord was reduced to beggary in its gates. Each day he faced the black mountains of the East, to which he had sworn fealty, and where he hoped his unclaimed bride still waited. Thank you for your purchase. Behind the West plotted to assault the Black Mountains with their new weapons from the forbidden lore of old technology. Ahead lay the three most powerful lords in all creation. One was good, one was evil, and one was immortal. Chubb knew the East would not help him unless they could profit by it, nor could he refuse anything asked of him and still survive. If they reached him in any way, he might be both blessed and cursed. And then one howling windy night came the deformed luminescence of a demon. Sounds like a good one. You're welcome. Okay. Back to Westerns. If there's anything else you see, feel free to let me know. This one here is called, this is by Zane Grey. He's another one besides Louis L'Amour who wrote really good Westerns. I've heard of Zane Grey too. And this has definitely been well loved. Look at this book. It is beat up. Horrors, Heaven, Hell. But like I said, you will get the entire book. Look how old that is. It's really bent. But the stories here. Make sure none of the pages are ripped out and things like that. This is 1970. With guns blazing, herd blundering, and his boys had stampeded 3,000 wild horses into a cleverly constructed trap. An animal lover, the beautiful Lark Burl was sickened by their greed and savagery. She was determined to free the horses, even if she had to shoot Blanding to do it. See, I don't have a twang like you do, all. I have to pick on Holbrook. He first came on, it was so funny because I was checking out the book section. I had to torture. I'm always picking on somebody. Last Word Bookstore and Dewella are so nice. I like them under the book section too. I'm starting to get to know some of the people under the book section. But I have crafting stuff is what I sold on YouTube. I never had a book sale there. I always sold craft supplies. Oh, except for old law books because people like the older books over there because they like tearing them apart. Make fun of me now. But this is the law books that I sell. And crafters love ripping these apart. These are the Southwestern, and they are so funny because it's Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia laws. And if you read some of the laws in these books, they're absolutely hysterically funny because they're old. And some people would have me take the guts out and then mail just the covers. And I like the guts because it's got the keys. I've actually made and sold a whole bunch of tags just with these keys on them. But this is what a crafter did with one of the covers. This is what they do. They refurbish them. Look how beautiful that is. They stain them, sand them down, and restain them. And this is going to be a cover for a book I'll play with later. So I thought that was pretty fascinating that they do that with these covers. But I only have so many left. I literally had a 2-car garage, and I'm not kidding, with these clear across the garage. It took me 3 weeks to get them clean because my brother works for a cleaning crew. Him and my sister-in-law own a business. And he said, I have some law books for you to come to pick up. Of course, I'm thinking they're on a shelf. No, they're laying in a back room covered in chip paints. I can't tell you how many nails I busted cleaning these because the chips were stuck to the covers. Like I said, it took 3 weeks to clean them all. And then I resold them, and I'm down to like the last 10 books. So I did really good on getting these for free and reselling them. And they're expensive. You look up Southeastern Reporter books. There was a guy selling them for like $20 a piece on the Facebook Marketplace. And I have mine for 10. I've been kind of up and down with the prices on these, but they're worth it. Excuse me, especially depends on what you're making out of them. I don't know, what all people do with the rest of it, but because I have some people that bought the whole entire book, so I don't know. But I'm sure a person could get their money out of them if they do it right. So this one is Buckskin Pistol Grip by Kit Dalton. And this is a 1987. Like I said, you're going to have discoloration on some. Could be age. They could have been a cigarette smoker. They could have been a cigar smoker. You never know. There's a bend there. I can't guarantee. I have a smoke-free home because I quit smoking in 2011. So I know that you're going to get it smoke-free. My dog doesn't come down here, so it should be hair-free too. And that's all I can guarantee. But where it came from before me, I couldn't tell you. 1987. Hunted, haunted, and harried. When Morgan rode into Rifle, Colorado, he was looking for a bargain. What he found was more than he bargained for. He had to face his greatest challenge, a scheming woman whose plans for him included nailing his hide to the barn door, and one of the slickest, most evil-tempered gunmen who ever soiled the West with his stink. To make matters worse, he was haunted by a ghost from the past, but a ghost so real it had the ornery habit of slinging lead at him. Surrounded on all sides by danger, tempted by the fanciest woman he'd ever met, Morgan had decided which was safer. Had to decide, the frying pan or the fire. That sounds like a funny journal. I mean, Western. But anyways, I used to bartend years ago, Holbrook. It was fun. I get to hear all the dear bartender stories. I actually liked the job, though. I got to work behind the bar. I never waited tables. I couldn't wait tables. I was offered a job to wait tables, but I said no for another place that opened. And he asked me why. I said, because the first time the guy grabs me, he's going to be on the floor. That's why. So, yeah, I like behind the bar because I didn't have to worry about all that. Yeah, they were. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the bands. And I never dated anybody that I met in a bar. I had a steady boyfriend the whole time. So, I didn't get into that part of it. And what happened in the bar stayed in the bar when the doors closed, if you know what I'm saying. But it was fun. And then because of being a bartender, I actually went to college and majored in psychology, which your bartenders and your hairdressers, anybody that's in that kind of field, you kind of do hear people's issues and problems and stuff. So it did help me whenever I did take classes because I got I made the dean's list, so I must did something right. But being a listener sometimes is just all that matters to some people. Well, you were just a bad boy. See, I didn't. I was a good girl. I tried to be. But I did enjoy that job. I can say. It was fun. Okay. The Trailsman. Riverkill. To get some writing in it. You can see where it's starting to come away a little bit from the spine. This is a 1987. Mississippi Menace. Sky Fargo knew the Mississippi was as treacherous as a scheming woman, deadly as a rattlesnake, and now the river looked dead sure to overflow with blood as the trailsman took on the job of shepherding a boatload of precious cargo upriver against all odds. Gunmen rode both banks, waiting for him to drift into range. River pirates were ready to launch their boats, and rampaging nature in the form of a raging flood was set to complete the carnage. A luscious, starry-eyed girl had lured Sky into a death trap, and her gorgeous, sensational sister offered him a torrid, tempting way out. Now in a fight to the death, Sky had to make the choice of his life before he ran out of bullets, beauties, and time. So you have the Trailsman. This is number 65, so it must be another series. There are lots of series in Westerns. And I didn't realize how much I ordered off of you. My goodness. I got my box in the mail today. I was like, this is huge. That's hysterical. Sometimes when you show stuff on here, it doesn't look as big, or it's smaller than what you think until you get it in the mail and you're like, what? I've done that with ephemera before. Hey, Red Dave. I'm liking that I'm able to watch my YouTube at the same time as doing this. It makes it nice. So I can see who comes and visits and I don't leave them out. Okay, and I think this is the last one in the Western category. This one here is called Slocum and Three Wives, Jake Logan book. This doesn't have a number on it. It's got some writing in it, some aging. Somebody decided to stamp it right there. And on the back, and this is a 1999, and this is also taped. Slocum arrives in the town of Three Wives looking for a particular woman and finds that this mining town is about to go bust. There's only a handful of attractive ladies and three wives, and much to the miner's disappointment, the women in question are reformed prostitutes trying to make a clean go of it in the Wild West. Getting down and dirty with locals is the last thing in their minds, but the hoe house, I gotta watch the wording on whatnot, is just what Three Wives need to boost the local economy, and someone's trying to scare these virtuous ladies into returning to their wanton ways. What's worse, Slocum's lady friend is in the middle of a mess, and now he must put his life on the line to defend her newly minted honor. And so that's that one. Hey, Firestorm. Welcome back. It's nice to see some of the same names going in and out, checking up on us. That's too funny, Holberg. Are you corrupting your son? Are you making him a bad junior? I have two daughters. I remember when my daughter told me, she was so funny. My oldest daughter, she come out and said, You're 30, Mom. You're so old. She told me that one time. And now she's going to be 40. I said, how's it feel? It's hysterical. Well, that's good. Sometimes they do turn out to be the opposite. My kids, let's just say I hear people talk, and they'll say, oh, my son was easier to raise than my daughter, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it has anything to do with the sex of the child. That's a sexist remark. I had 2 daughters, and I had one that was easy and one that wasn't. So it's just easy. I love the cover of this book. I really love how they did the cards behind his head. The cover is really cute. But yeah, they were definitely like night and day, for sure. Now we're going into some educational books, and my educational is all mixed up too. You'll love my genres because I made whatever I wanted to stick in wherever I wanted. I made up my own. I'm not the library. That's what I tell people. So this here is for entertaining. Answers to the most often questions about entertaining at home and in business by Elizabeth L. Post. This was 1987. It's about party planning, invitations and replies, dinner parties, serving at dinner, buffet luncheons, and cocktail parties and other entertaining occasions, obligations of guests and hosts, table settings of place settings, entertainings for business, and more. So to me, it's educational because it's teaching you something. Just like autobiographies of somebody's life, I have everything mixed together in my educational, so you never know what's going to pop up. So that is that one. It's in pretty good condition. It's got a little speckling that you can see on the edges, but that's about it. A lot of mine are cheap starts. The only thing I have separated is my real military from ones I wasn't able to tell if they were just written or if they were real. The real military is separate. But I do have military types in my action and suspense that were made up stories. And I have some under educational depending on what it is. And then I have, my educational is crazy. It's got self-help books. But I had a businessman come in and check my store from Pittsburgh, and he liked the way I had it set up because he said, sometimes you go to Walmart, and it used to be we only had like 5 choices of cough medicines. And he says, and you're standing there for a half an hour looking your symptoms because there's so much of a variety out there now. So I wanted to keep my bookstore because we have an old folks home up here, and sometimes they'll come in here and shop when I used to have it open before COVID. And they liked it because I kept the categories simple where people could find things much easier instead of divided up into a bunch of different categories. So that's why I did it. And I even made up a category called Family Inspirations because to me, Chicken Soup for the Soul are really good books. And there's some Amish books that are really good. And I put them under Family Inspirations because of that reason. Because I like the name of that better than just sticking them wherever. So, like I said, you never know what you're going to find under each of my categories. So this one here is Lincoln and His Generals by T. Harry Williams. Nice aged book from 1952. A little bit of stain back here. And it says, an admirably planned and executed work which as well fulfills the author's expressed, this is an opinion. It's an able and fascinating book that Mr. Williams has given us, although it presents the thesis of Lincoln's superior strategic grasp. It is not an argumentative volume, rather it is a full-bodied, swift-paced narrative. The reader will gain as much clear and shrewd an overall comprehension of the Northern effort from this volume as from any other in print, and most readers will close the book, we believe, accepting the author's thesis. The fascinating story here told complete for the first time of Lincoln's search for a winning general and of his own emergence as a master strategist and great commander-in-chief. Well, my mom, she raised 2 girls and a son, and she told me us girls were easier than my brother. She said my brother was her biggest pain. So, it's like I said, I think it's just the personalities. I don't think it's so much necessarily if it's a boy or a girl. I think it's attitude and things we go through. Because she said me and my sister were the easiest of the 2 kids, so I don't know. I don't have any sons to compare, but I do have 3 grandsons, 3 granddaughters. 2 of my granddaughters are fraternal twins, and they do change personalities from time to time. They're so cute. Hey, Michelin. So, like I said, they're a challenge, but they're so cute. I have the Brady Bunch for grandkids. My grandsons just hit 14, and oh my goodness. They're both going to be 6 foot something. They done passed me up. I'm 5'8", so I look up at my grandsons now, and I'm like, oh boy. But they were predicted with their growth chart when they were babies. One was predicted to be 6'4", and the other was predicted to be 6'2" or something like that. So we'll see. One does football, the other does wrestling. They seem to like what they do. The twins like cheering, and my youngest granddaughter, Kylie, she's something. She's got her own persona, and she tells me she's going to grow up to be a baby doctor. One was going to be a scientific, what did he say? A fireman Scientologist or something. I don't know. They're so funny. I love when they pick what they think they're going to be when they grow up. I can't wait to see what they end up being grow up. If I actually live long enough to see it, it'll be awesome. But they're definitely characters. Oh, here's a good book for you people out there. I think this book is funny. And I did read this book. Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by John Gray, PhD. Some of his stuff I get, but then this was from 1992. But then some of his I disagree with because I think at the end of the day, from being married for 35 years, I can speak my mind on this subject. I think at the end of the day, both sexes pretty much want the same thing. We would like to have dedicated partners, and we just like to be loved, and that's just the bottom line through all the rest of the rules that people make up. Because people just need people, regardless if that's what they don't believe. They do. And if you don't, get a pet. Because pets are awesome too. Once upon a time, Martians and Venusians met, fell in love, and had happy relationships together because they respected and accepted their differences. They came to Earth, and amnesia set in. They forgot they were from different planets. I think the way he writes this is funny. Using the metaphor to illustrate commonly occurring conflicts between men and women, Dr. John Gray explains how these differences can come between the sexes and prohibit mutually fulfilling, loving relationship based on years of successful counseling of couples and individuals. He gives advice on how to counteract these differences in communication styles, emotional needs, and modes of behavior to promote a greater understanding between individual partners. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus is an invaluable tool for developing deeper and more satisfying relationships. It is a good book, and it does get different tools as far as differences. You got to accept some differences, but what can you live with is the question. Hey, TB. Welcome, welcome. Hey, KC. But it is a good read. Whether you're single or in a relationship, it is a good read. He does it in a good, positive, funny way, the way he writes the book. The next one is an older one. This one here is a space book. So if you're a crafter and you want to tear up some spaces, here you go. The Illustrated World of Space. I put this in fair condition, I think, because it's got a little crackling and smudging on it. It's an older book for sure. It is from 1991. Some of these books are fun to upcycle if you're a crafter, but it's got a lot of good information in it, even if things have changed since then. I like these pages, they're cool. So there's that one where they show the stars. Hey there, Wolving. Welcome, welcome. We got like a revolving door over here. Not sure who's still on my YouTube live, but hello over there if you're listening. I still can't believe I had almost 2,000 views over there. My last live, I was like, what? I didn't do anything different. So I don't know what happened. Unless YouTube's algorithm woke up for a day. That's a lot of views. It's kind of scary. I like smaller groups of people. No offense. And then here is International Business. And these are heavier books, of course. So your weight for your shipping might be a little heavier. This is written by Wild and Han as their last names. There's some highlighting in this book. Some writing on the sides. And sometimes if a book doesn't have a synopsis in it, I will go to the table of contents to tell you some of the stuff in it. You have global business environment, national business environments, international trade and investment, the international financial system, and the international business management. Analyzing international opportunities, selecting and managing entry modes, developing and marketing products, managing international operations, hiring and managing employees. See, look at the notes in the corner. I love that though. I love other people's writing. I think that's so cool. But that's just me. Especially calligraphy. Calligraphy is so awesome. Hey, Red Wards. Hey, Shots Trading Post. Welcome, welcome. My favorite, what did I do with it? This is the beautiful ledger from the 1800s. It's in Spanish that I have. And this was hot air balloons before we had airplanes and they made deliveries. I had a friend that could read Spanish and told me some of what it said. And it's cool. Okay, I got to get away from this because this is like my crazy ephemera. I love that book. And I smushed this page. So there's that. The next one I have for people who liked AIDS certification in computers, which I took this class too, but I didn't use the dummies book. This actually teaches you a lot about basic computers. I don't know if this holds up for Windows 10, but this was actually great back with Home Edition. And it's just a bunch of information on computers. It did have a CD with it. I don't have the CD with this one. But this is if you want to take the exam. All about the hardware and the operating systems. So there's that book. Very educational. I think some of it would even be for today. Hey Shot, JK. Hey RUC Jacob. Welcome, welcome. A box fell behind me. What the heck fell? Okay. And next we have this here is interesting. This is actually good if you are going into nursing or if you just want to have a basic skill set at home. Medical tests you can do yourself. More than 250 simple at-home examinations and observations. Examining your heart and lungs, testing your blood pressure and circulatory system, examining your digestive system, testing your eyes, ears, throat, nose, and mouth, identifying skin blemishes and ailments, examining your nervous system, testing your urinary system, examining bones, muscles, and joints, tests and observations of the reproductive organs, testing your glands and metabolism, your personal health hazard appraisal, how to create your own medical history. So this is very an informative book. All kinds of medical information for sure. And this is from 1998, but I still say it's a good book. Something you could keep in home instead of having one for your kids for emergencies. You got one for yourself. Down here. All right. So there is that. And then next we got to get Mikey in here. He likes medical stuff. I don't know if he's on, but let me see. Any Alan Watts? Let me see. Nope, not that I can find. I run it into the search under my buy it now. And if it's not in there, then I don't have any listed. But if I do come across any, I will tag you. Write your name down. BENJLEM. Alan Watts. What kind of genre does he write? What kind of books? Philosophy. Okay. I will, if I come across any, I will gladly tag you into a stream. I have a few people that collect certain people, so I try to invite them when I get their books. Okay, this one here is called Surgical Technology. It's got holes punched in it, like it might have been part of somebody else's curriculum in maybe college or something. Program Development Guide by Chris Cregan. This is from 2006. It's got like a lot of laboratory stuff. I know some people like these type of books. And some schools even buy some back. So this is your complete guide to creating a surgical technology program. The Surgical Technology Program Development Guide is a well-organized, easy-to-follow resource designed to help you create and implement a surgical technology program. This authoritative guide features information on beginning the process of program development, suggestions for program budgets, guidelines for gaining accreditation, medical and surgical contact information, example of key materials such as a course syllabi and student handbook from an existing program, an organizational timeline. The Surgical Technology Program Development Guide is your source for the most thoroughly researched and carefully referenced coverage on program development. So that is One Medical. Welcome back, GLD. You finding anything good out there today? Oh, I'm actually getting ready to start on weatherizing some things in my house, so I saved up some money to do so. I've got a few doors that I can see the light under. Thank you. So I'm going to weatherize a few doors in the house, and one of them I'm going to buy stain paint. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I had a door I was going to redo, and when I saw everything you had to do, like sand it down and do all that, and I'm thinking, oh, because I really don't want to take it off the hinge. I didn't want to go through all that, so my daughter was telling me about, she's like a do-it-yourselfer, my oldest daughter. She was like, I used to be when I was younger. She goes, Mom, they have stain paint. I'm like, stain paint? Well, that sounds cool. So she's going to help me get some stuff done. So that's my next project. Okay, the next book I have, and if you are a person that wants to create a medical journal, these are so cool to use because they're books you can upcycle from. This one is Biology. This is a nice spiral bound laboratory manual. This is the 11th edition by Sylvia S. Matter. And if you like medical, this is a cute biology book. This is from 2013, copyright. It's a big manual. It's heavy, but it's nice. Studying Made Easy. You have time, observation, and experimental procedure. These are the McGraw-Hill companies. All I can say is these were not cheap when they were first sold, for sure. Any college books are expensive. Even the used ones. Used and new. And this last book under the educational, I was even looking at stuff in this one, just in case. I thought this was really cute. This is more for, I would say, a person in a tiny house. It says, making the most of small spaces by Anoop Parikh. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry. This is what the book looks like. I always check under the covers. It's just a habit with me because you never know where there's mold. So this is from 1994, and it's a real nice guide on how to take each of the rooms, like in a tiny house, and how you can add certain places to make the most of your space. It covers like your kitchen. I'll tell you one thing that helped me in my kitchen was these really strong magnets. But it gives you like a layout of what your tiny house could look like and where to store things. Lots of shelving. Really, really cute book. Look at that closet. I like to have that be my craft room, at least this part. And like, look at the shelving above the clothes there. It's amazing. Some of the stuff they have in this book is really cute. So if you know anybody living the van life or tiny house living, this is a cute book. KADLB, Leslie, and Echo. Echoes Retro. Welcome in, welcome in. If you see anything in the auction, please feel free to let me know. I like watching some of the videos on YouTube because, man, they come up with some really good tips on how to maximize your space. Or minimize it, I should say. I don't go in any particular order, so if you're looking for anything, just feel free to let me know. If you see a book in the auction, you want the synopsis of what it's about, or anything like that, just feel free to let me know. I'll show you the conditions and all that good stuff. YouTube, what are you doing over here? I see Tiffany is the last person that texted over there still, so it hasn't moved. I'm actually surprised my whatnot stayed moving tonight. It didn't die where I had to stop the app. Here, we'll run this again in case anybody's interested in small spaces. Making the most. I like to have a closet organizer. I can't wait till my craft room is done so I can do a tour. That would be fun too. But I have multiple items in my buy it now. If you type in CL, you'll get the craft stuff. You type in BL, you get the books. I even have FL, I think, is fashion type items. There's keychains and things like that. I think there's some purses. I have a Michael Kors fanny pack in there that's a small medium, if anybody's interested in that. And it's real. It's a legit Michael Kors. And that all that happy crap. I think I have a one thing in there that's hockey related. It's a plaque with a card in it and a top loader. And I don't know if that's under sports or decor. I can't remember. And then I have a Precious Moments glass in there. So there's different things besides books. Well, hello, Michelle. Welcome, welcome. If anybody sees anything in the auction, please feel free to let me know and I will run it or show you the condition of the books. If you're looking for a specific author, please feel free to let me know. Any chance you seen the book will come after by Steve Watkins? Let me write this down. Not off the top of my head, but if I come across it, I can tag you. Comes after. You're welcome. Watkins. C-H-A-T-E 13025. Let me look up what this looks like. Wow, that's expensive on Amazon. Let me see here. Just to give you an idea, to let you know, on Alibi, it's running for $4. They have different prices, but if you go under the shopping, Thrift Books has it for $7.99, eBay $40.95. It's ridiculous. And then Audiobooks is for $7.50. Walmart has it for $8.23. But just to give you an idea, I would go to Alibi. Alibi. Sometimes I get books from there too. That's what it looks like. I haven't seen this book yet in my bookstore. But if you're interested, you can go there too. I always try to help people find stuff because I had customers, you're quite welcome, that didn't know like how to navigate. I had a customer that come in here and he never did anything online. His wife did, but he just never learned. And so a couple times, because they didn't know how to navigate, I would buy the book. I didn't even make a profit. I would just literally tell them what it cost me with shipping and show them the receipt, and they could reimburse me just so they could have the book. My bookstore actually has a story. And the story behind my bookstore was when I was younger in high school, I always wanted to have a brand new bookstore. But by the time I graduated, they were going out of business because you had your bigger conglomerates coming out, and they were having, your food, your clothing, your books, like Walmart and these bigger stores like that. And Walden's bookstore and all them shut down. Like, it was really hard to find a decent bookstore anymore. And I always wanted a new bookstore. That was my dream. And my whole philosophy, and I had my whole plan, drawn out. I'd like to have a cute storefront. I would have wanted to own the building instead of paying rent and leasing, because that's where you lose money too. And I wanted to do a story time for kids, especially like single moms or parents that both work. I thought it'd be cute to take somebody who was following like the child program in high school and have them substitute, come into my store as a helper, and not only getting experience for the class, but actually help me do a story time where we pass out snacks and stuff, and just do something for a couple hours where the parents could go shopping, grocery shopping, or just have, a couple hours to recoup, just to spend time together or whatever. But like I said, my dream was killed because by the time I got out of school, all the stores were going out of business, and it was hard to do a business like that. So years later, I actually had a friend that was moving, and she was throwing out a bag of books. She had them in a garbage bag. I didn't realize she was throwing them away. I told her the garbage bag will probably break, and I had a tote she could put them through. She goes, "Oh, no, I'm throwing them away." And I'm like, "Why would you throw away perfectly good books?" I said, "You got hardbacks in here. There's nothing wrong with them." Hey, Janet Jones and Hannah. And I've told this on my YouTube channel that my store is kind of like, don't throw your books away, call me. So I actually ran the ad. Like, it just came to me like one time. It still didn't at first, but I was looking on Amazon for something else, and used books popped up in front of my face. This is how the dream happened. So I decided to take the bottom of my home, which I didn't know this at the time, but we moved, and the bottom of my house where I'm at right now used to be a cabinetry business. And then later they built a house over top of the business foundation, which I think is really cool, because when I saw this house when we bought it, I told my husband, I said, "Man, it's got its own entrance, its own parking outside." I said, "I could turn that into a bookstore." And it all fell into place. Like, so I put an ad out, "Don't throw your books away, call me," and my phone blew up. But then the sad part is I became a dumping ground, which is really bad because, I mean, when you have limited space, you definitely have to have space if you're going to have a business in your home to keep your inventory. And I had one garage out here, and I had skids of books in it, but then people started dumping albums, like vinyl albums. They started dumping VHS tapes. They started dumping music CDs. If you see the crap I have. Finally, I just had to stop. When COVID happened and it shut the stores down, I just said, "People, you got to stop dropping stuff off." I mean, I'm talking like they would drop books off outside my house. The only ones I've had to replenish is when like one genre would run down, mainly my children's section. Then I would have to go out and purchase books to replenish, because I didn't always get an even amount that people dropped off. But one guy actually filled my bookstore when I first started. He called me and he was like, "We have all these books that are getting ready to go into recycling, and I saw your ad." And he filled my bookstore up to begin with. But they're oversaturated. That's all I have to say. Is it is great to have a plan. If you have a small business and you start one, don't use credit cards, don't use loans, pay cash. I worked in private in-home care where I paid cash for everything, and I didn't go in debt, because that's what kills a lot of small businesses. But from my experience being a customer and an owner of a business, it's not easy being a business owner, especially if you have to pay rent, leasing, which I don't because it's in my house. So everything I make now is a profit. But where I kept my books, I got a leak in my roof, and it scared the crap out of me because I didn't want mold setting into my books. So I had to move everything into the center of the store, and it became a disaster. If I literally gave you a tour of my store right now, you people would be like, oh my God, she's a hoarder. I kid you not. Because when I lost my inventory room, the roof still needs fixed. I didn't want water to chase. But then this is the second thing that happened. You didn't even get to hear the whole story, Holbrook. Wait till you hear the rest of it. So when I brought all the books into the center to get them away from the water, we moved into this house and the hot water heater was outdated and we didn't realize it. Well, guess what happened? It exploded, and it was awful. If you'd have seen me that day, I was a wreck. I was calling my neighbor. He was at work. My husband wasn't here. I had to have my son-in-law, come and save the day because I had water everywhere. Like the whole bottom of my hot water tank blew out. I had a waterfall shooting out the top hole. And I lost part of my inventory because I couldn't get it out fast enough. Even though there's drains in that area because it's right by the furnace and stuff, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. I can't even tell you how bad it was. But when you see some of the stains on the books I'm showing you, that isn't from that. Those books were put in a different area, and I had to go through and throw a bunch away because those were destroyed. Like, it was bad. So water keeps following my books. It's like a nightmare. And then COVID happened. So it's like boom, boom, boom was I hit. So we had hail damage because we had a bad hailstorm that messed up our main roof. Well, then our insurance covered it. And we were fortunate because there are a lot of people that, restore when stuff like that happens. And what the guys did, they have like a team of guys that do construction. They came and said, it's like $1,000 deductible, and then your insurance pays the rest. They said they would waive the $1,000 because we live on a main road if we put a sign for their business in the front of our yard. So they saved us $1,000 doing that. So we was like, sure, yeah. So we put their sign in our yard and they redid the roof, but we didn't have them do the back roof where the leak happened because we want to turn that into a cement patio. We want to turn that into a patio eventually. Well, you should see it. It's a mess. The roof looks like almost like the horse on Little Rascals that had the sway back. I mean, if you'd see the roof on the back of my house, it looks horrible. I don't think I have a picture of it on my phone. I have a picture of my house on here, but not the roof. But it's bad. It's in bad shape. But we just got to save up the money to get it put back there because it's cheaper to put in a cement roof than it is to do wood. Wood right now is outrageous. But cement, they told us, they run the joists across, and because our house is older, it's already settled. So it shouldn't crack when they go to do the cement. But it's only we were quoted like $3,000, which is nothing compared to wood. So, but we haven't done it yet because we're trying to get the money saved up for that too. But I'm telling you, you almost need like a separate building to hold your inventory, like a separate small shed or something like that, because I have 5 rooms, people. I'm talking thousands of books. And I can't tell you what I have because I don't have enough space to put them all. I only had so much. And when I would sell books and then eventually donate some, then I would replenish. Like every year for inventory, I'd replenish the shelves. So because I had to move them around so much because of the water, as I unbox and go through the books, clean stuff and all that kind of stuff, you see what I see when we do these sales. So it's helping me to organize because I'm buying totes because they're all in beer boxes of all things because some of the people packed in beer boxes because of the handles. And yeah. So I'm putting them in totes so that way if the roof does cave in or if water gets in, it's okay because they're in totes. They won't get destroyed again. So I'm organizing as I do the sales. And then there's another story that's even funny because I like telling stories. I was unloading my car one day. My blazer was filled with boxes for one of the guys I do the pickups from. And I had all these beer boxes. And I literally was pulling the beer boxes out of the car and bringing them into my house. Well, we have kind of a drinker that lives down the road. And he saw the beer boxes. I think he thought I was having a party. He stops in my bookstore checking out the beer boxes, thinking it was booze. I'm like, dude, they're filled with booze. That's another story. His breath about knocked me over because he was drinking, and I was like, woo! He come in my bookstore like that, and I'm like, dude, this isn't a party place, it's a bookstore. But that's funny. I had to share. But here's a this is actually the bookshelf in my room that I restored. The friend that I moved books for, she gave me a bookshelf, and I had to sand it down and redo it. And that's actually my bookshelf I redid. I love redoing furniture too, sanding it down and repainting. So see, yes, I love the color blue. So that's one to see the horse on top. That's one of my bookshelves. It's in my bedroom. Here's my ornery granddaughters. Now tell me that aren't some faces. Those are the twins, Layla and Livia, and that's Kylie. They're so cute. It's my three ornery granddaughters. They're characters too, let me tell you. They are something else. This is me and my hubby when we started dating. Oh, come on. I showed this on here before. This is when he served in the Navy. That's my hubby Mike, and that's me when I was young. We were 15 and 16 when we met. I was probably, he was 18 when he went into the Navy. So I was probably around 17 in that picture. I was young. Those were the days. I'm an old lady now. I was trying to find pictures of my grandsons in here. But we weren't married when he went into the Navy. We didn't get married till after. And we celebrated our 35th in January. So we've been together for a long time. He's been like my life. Oh, here it is. This is my youngest daughter. My grandson, Steven. Look at that hair. And then Ethan. Look at that face. He's so darn ornery. So there's them. She was my ornery daughter. And just trying to find Angelo. Where's Angelo at? My other grandson. They're like scattered all through our pictures. Thought I had a picture on here. Oh, here it is. This is my oldest daughter, Jade, to the left, and that's her son, Angelo. That's my oldest grandson. So there's all three, and then that's his girlfriend. I can't believe he has a girlfriend. Talk about making me feel old. So that's my kids. These are the twins together. One looks like their mom and one looks like their dad. They're something else. But they're cutie patooties. I can't believe. I can't believe Steven's hair. He's the wrestler. Look at that hair. Oh my goodness. He got it cut off here recently, but I said, darn, you look like you got bushy hair, dude. I still can't believe they're taller than me. Your grandsons are growing too fast. I just want to smush them back to little boys. But anyways, from reminiscing, can't help it. Reminiscing days. Thank you for the follow, Michelle. I will definitely get back to you when I get a chance. But yes, that's how my bookstore started. All because of people throwing away books. So it's kind of like a last chance type of place. Now I just got to decide on whatnot, like how many I'm going to leave in the buy it now. And do I change the inventory at the beginning of every year? Because people have been shopping. So what I said, don't not have stuff in your buy it now. Because people will come in and they'll shop not for just what's in auction, but they'll buy the older books too. And I know it's hard to set up because it takes time. Like I literally take pictures of every single book and stick them in my buy it now, as you can see. And I know it's kind of hard, but the one thing that I didn't know on Whatnot was I didn't know that you could post different categories in your buy it now, Holbrook, and you can. I didn't know that. I thought that when you sold in the book section, you could only have books in there and it was all media. But if you look at how I did my buy it now, let me see if I can pull up the craft one to show you. We'll do CL. Here. CL for craft lots. Yes. Okay, see how I have my crafting, this, that's all crafting stuff. Is anything under CL is craft supplies. As long as you have it, those aren't posted under books. Those are posted under other because I sold under the craft section too. You can have different categories in your store bin so that when people shop, it's not going to go media. And I didn't know that. And I created a second ID. My Crafty Styles is me too on here. I was going to leave Tammy's Passion sit in the book section and then sell under my Crafty Styles because you can sell under different IDs on here, but I didn't know you had to have 1K sales or 100,000 in sales to be able to create your second ID for selling. You can't sell on two unless you have that done on one, and then you have to apply for your second one, because I know that there's a lady on here that sells under 3 IDs. But I didn't know you could do a variety under your one ID. You know what I mean? So I learned that. So if somebody comes in here and say they buy a couple books off of me, then they go under the crafting and buy a couple items, it automatically takes them off a media mail. So they know that they don't have to do the media shipping. Because I was like, wow, learning this. And I didn't know you could do that. So I'm kind of glad as I'm learning along the way, I'm trying to share what I do know with people. But cloning is if you go under your shows on a computer, not your phone. I don't know about a tablet. I don't own a tablet. But I own a laptop and a desktop. So if you go under your name and you sign in and then you hit shows on a computer, it'll show the last show you just had and it gives you a cloning technique. You click on the clone, you go under and there's a drop down list and it says select, and you hit that under there and then you select all that you had in your previous show that's left over and you clone it to your next show. And that's how I keep bringing the books with me. I started out only doing 50 at a time, and I kept cloning as I moved my shows to the new one. And that's how my show built up to 690 items, because I kept cloning. And that way, that's all you got to do. You don't have to keep putting them in over and over again. And Pretty Corn taught me that technique when I first started as a seller here. The only thing is when you clone from your past show to your next one, the same ones are going to show up as an auction that you had in that auction. So at the end of this show, when I go to clone, all these books that I just showed tonight are going to show up in auction again. You have to go through each one and edit it and stick it in your buy it now. You can't just select all. And then you have to start again, you know, and take pictures or whatever of your new stuff that you're putting in your auction. I know that there's some people that do it by weight, and to me that messes up shipping for me. Plus, it's easier for me to keep track of what my orders are, because at the end of the show, when I go to print whoever bought, I get the picture of the book so I don't mess up orders. So I do this for me too, you know, to be able to keep track of my orders and not mess up. You'll never see me do a sale on here by weight, just by weight with a picture. I won't do that. I do all of mine separate so I know exactly what I sold. And I don't know if this will help people. I don't know if this is how you want to do it, but to me, it keeps it more organized. Hey, Maritza, and hey, Peg. Welcome into YouTube. I can see you both now. Maritza, I don't know why you're not modded here. I don't know if I can do it from my laptop or not, but I'll try. It's not letting me. Oh, here you go. We'll put Maritza as a moderator over here on YouTube. I got you both. Peg, you're already moderated. So we're good. I'm streaming in both places, so I'm back and forth. But anytime I learn something, I'll share the tips with people who want to know how to do certain things or whatnot, because I'm still learning something every day. All right. Well, I'm glad you got to come in. You didn't get to torture me as bad as I got to torture you, though, Holbrook. I'm always torturing people. That's just my nature. It's my chat and bartender persona. You got to pick on people to get to know them. But I'm glad you get to come and visit finally. We got you in here. So now at least you got a voice that you know that picks on you. Because sometimes it's hard when people can't hear people. Like my oldest daughter, she's better listening to me, where my youngest daughter is better to write letters to her. Like she's easier to talk to texting. And my oldest daughter's like in text, she's like, "Are you mad?" And she'll call me. I'm like, "No, I'm not mad." But she likes to hear you, because sometimes, you know, texts can be misinterpreted. You know, when I pick on people, they might think, "Who is this girl? She's crazy." But when you hear me, you know I'm not. I'm just goofy. All right. Well, don't work too hard. And hey, Mike, welcome back. So I ran through all the books once. So if there's anything else that you want to see, just let me know. I'll show you the book and I'll read the synopsis, tell you what it's about, anything that's in auction. Pierce Anthony. Who's Pierce Anthony, Peg? But it is good to be able to see what my people are typing to me on YouTube. because I miss you guys. I'll get back to YouTube eventually. Right now, I'm just still trying to work Whatnot out. Takes time. But this one here, like I said, this book is good for people who are living in small houses, tiny houses, camper life. This just gives you, it's a book about making the most of small spaces, pretty much what it says. It's a pretty cool book. Last Word Bookstore, she's really nice. I like the lady that does that live stream. Mine's more like Last Chance Bookstore. As soon as these books, if they don't sell here, they go into a yard sale in the Facebook Marketplace. And if they don't sell there, then they get donated, and I make room for new books to post. But these will be up for a little while because I'm just now building up on Whatnot. So thanks for the purchases, the people that came in. Thank you so much for the new followers too. And if there's any author you're looking for, I'll put your name down and tag you in here whenever I find them. I will let you know. Hey Leslie, welcome in. But for now, I have pretty much showed everything I was going to show for the evening. I'll put these back over here. I ran all the books through once to give you an idea, and I do have them set up in the marketplace over here on Whatnot if a person wants to come and find the books from YouTube. So with that, I'm going to have to say goodnight, and I will see you next Wednesday, hopefully. So thanks for participating, and thank you for my YouTube people for coming by, and I'll see you soon. Bye.